Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Farming Simulator 25. We're here checking out a new map called Wright County, Missouri. And I'm actually here at the shop taking a look at this beautiful 8RX 730 that they have on display out front here. We actually just came and picked up our new dump truck. They also have a 9RX 640 that just looks beautiful. Love it. Yeah, we are over here at the John Deere dealer. That's all I'm going to simply say. Because I can't pronounce that. Yeah, this is our Lizard Silverado 6500, or Lizard Silver. I just call it a Silverado, but it is what it is. I'm doing this a little bit differently than what I used to. Because, well, I kind of need a change from just doing a basic map review. And I've done a few additions to the map already. But instead of doing a flyover over to the farm, we're going to take a nice little trip. Oh, and not jump out as we drive. Whoops. And I've already kind of taken a flyover to an extent. And kind of figured out my path to get from here to there. Now that's a nice looking farm right there, if I do say so. As you can tell, roads are nicely traveled. Had a nice little track that we crossed over. So there is a train on this map. These fields just look stunningly amazing, and I love it. And actually, this is our farm here. So the biggest difference from mine versus yours is, unless they add a map pack to the required mods, you're not going to have this gate, and you're not going to have this barbed wire fence for the cows. I added that, and I figure I just added this little gate over here. I'm probably going to be changing it, but it's a temporary fence anyway right now, just to kind of keep any nosy neighbors from peeking in. We do not own this field, but I need to talk to the owner and see what it's going to cost to buy that, because I am going to need that here before too long. The lights off and parked. And this is our humble abode, and I forgot to close some doors. Okay then. It's considering I did just recently buy it, and forgetting to close doors, it needs some work and touch up, but it's nice regardless. Came fully furnished, nice little office in here. So that way I still have a place to do my YouTube video edits. And even a nice little back porch, but not covered. Still haven't figured out where the switch is to turn the light on in here, but whatever. So as you saw, we do have, well, water buffalo. I decided to go with those because I just haven't. This is our hayloft here. It is an auto-load hayloft, which I think is awesome. Haven't done any hay bales to know for certain. I decided to go with this to gain access in and out because cattle very rarely will go over those, to my knowledge. So I figured it was appropriate. That way I don't have to deal with a fence, or a gate rather. And instead of following that line across, I decided to tie it in over to the side of that barn. Because, well, why not? We still gotta get them feed and whatnot in here. But we have another gate over here, just in case we need the access over here. Because we do have the fence line that goes kind of through the trees, and instead of keeping it out here, I pushed it back. So that way the cattle can take advantage of the trees during the hot parts of the year. And they can get that shade instead of just being out here roasting. So, kind of how I decided to handle that. Hop over that. And if you hear any weird noises in the background, I do have windows open, and I believe my neighbor has decided to mow. So, or at least one of my neighbors. So this is our calf weaning barn. We have 23 cattle in here, or, you know, calves. So of course we got our water buffalo. Or no, that's Angus. I'm sorry. Did I go with Angus? Oh, even brown Angus. All right. So we do have plenty of Angus in here. For some reason, I thought I put water buffalo in here. Oops. Not that I'm complaining. I just... oh, well. So we'll get them nice and fattened up in here. If I can jump over. There we go. And over here... well, there's a wall. But you can hear them. We have little piggies. So we have this floor here. She's got plenty of room through here. Then we have... there's a mean guy around here somewhere. But yeah, this has two different pens for the most part, which I think is awesome. Of course, we have the slurry out here to be able to pick up. So this is a very unique one. I don't remember ever seeing this. It might be a newer mod that requires. Give me a second here. All right, so there is two required mods: Precision Farming Configurator and American Fence and Gates, which I'm assuming I don't have the American Fence and Gates, which I thought I did. Because I did a search when I was loading this for mods, and I was looking for that, and I thought I had that downloaded. Apparently I don't, so we'll have to fix that for the next video. I do apologize and give you guys a little bit better representation of how the farm looks when you first start in. I just thought it was weird to have a cattle yard where the cattle are roaming free. Yeah. So we do have plenty of junk kind of sitting around. We'll have to... I kind of want to go through and get it all collected up. Like an old camper, old gleaner, red lizard, and a bunch of other things. An old little silo system that doesn't look like it's in too bad of a shape, but maybe there's something wrong internally. I just kind of want to get things cleaned up, all these old tires. Maybe use some of these for decoration, maybe not. But we got the mower there. We have a Massey Western Combine. Looks like our usual Great Plains seeder that we get almost every new map. Nice little sprayer though. We do have our John Deere here. John Deere 3650. Love it. Older style tractor. There is a white tractor in here somewhere. Oh, there it is. White 8810. We may trade that in for something newer before too long. We may trade all of our tractors in for something newer. And looks like our hay equipment with a cultivator. Yeah, that's our cultivator. I do need to get a plow because I like to play with required plowing turned on. And our one and only field, which we'll get into the map here, PDA, is this guy. Let's turn on that off. And that is our one and only map. This is the other field. This is the other field that's beside us, as well as that one. I do want to get in touch to see exactly what it's going to cost. This gives us a value of almost $99,000, which we have plenty of. This one's $228,000. I think we'll see if we can offer them a fair price, obviously a little bit more than the value, just to see if we can kind of make our farm more worthwhile. And it may also force us to need to increase the size of our equipment. But this is a standard size field. Standard size map, I'm sorry. 1X map. As far as the description goes, let me read it through it here for you. There we go. I had to expand it down a little bit. Reed County, Missouri is a standard size FS25 map that is representative of its real life location. It utilizes real elevation data with accurate farm, road, railroad, and field placements. Nearly all buildings in the map are custom made for the project. So that explains like the pig barn. Wow, I can't talk. multi-angle terrain, alfalfa, NH3, starter fertilizer, 2 UAN fertilizers, whatever that is. I'm sorry, I'm not too familiar with a lot of these terms. Corn stalk and soybean straw bales, propane, dry corn, custom soil map to use with precision farming. As you can see, our one and only field right now has some silty clay around the corners, and then loamy sand with sandy loam, and then just loam in the middle. So that kind of seems like a cheap way out to me, but I don't know how to do those. If I did, I would probably fix it to make it seem like it's more worthwhile across the entire map, not just the field. Again, that's just me. So interesting. Areas of each field will yield better or worse depending on factors such as slope, proximity to trees, ditches, etc. So if you that probably won't change if you were to remove trees. Just thinking. Let's see here. Seasonal items for both farmhouses as well as weather effects. I'm sorry. Seasonal items for both farmhouses as well as weather effects on the paved road. Yeah. So, you know, wet roads when it's raining, snow-covered roads when it's snowing, I think is what they're talking about. And then depending on the season, we may have Christmas decorations on the house, for example. So I think that's kind of what they're talking about there. All farm buildings and decorative items can be sold. Sweet. I hate it when they make it to where you can't get rid of them without trying to hide them. Custom weather and adjusted lighting. And then you have custom corn, soybean, and alfalfa textures. I love that. Custom train and rail cars, which the train almost seems to be underground for where we're at. Well, not quite underground. That's the railroad right there. And we drove over it and barely saw the tracks. So custom cattle pasture does not produce slurry or manure. So I'm assuming they're talking about this guy here. So even if I were to put manure pit somewhere over here, it probably wouldn't do it. So I'm gonna have to look into that. Custom calf weaning pen. It does produce manure if you place the custom manure heap placeable. Refer to the image for proper placement. Custom pig enclosure with animated feeder lids. Sweet. Custom co-op buildings, accurately based off a co-op in Chula, Missouri. You got to purchase Farmland 50 to have access to that. Animated moisture probe on the scales. Nice. So that when you're going to drop off at the co-op, you know, they'll probe your product that you have in your trailer so that way they can get an idea of what to do with it or how much to pay you. Ability to purchase bulk seed totes are individual. Yeah, that's about normal. Animated catwalk for bulk liquid fill. I'm assuming this is still all co-op related. Custom feed pig feed. Wow, that can't read or speak. That gives you flexibility on what you use for feed. Let me read that again. Custom pig feed that gives you flexibility on what you use for feed. Gotcha. Perfect. Animated water in crossings. Seasonal static deer, turkey, and hunting blinds that may appear at any time. Lovely. For more accurate land prices, commodity prices, yields, and usages, set your economic difficulty to hard for the most realistic numbers. I would have to say that's probably pretty accurate on just about any map. Not all, but most of the maps I think people try to do that with. So, yeah. This is a map that, to my knowledge, is done by No Creek Farms. There's a slew of other modders on kingmods.net under Ray County, Missouri, so it's hard to say. There's No Creek Farms, OS modding, mapping, LJR modding, BC Bueller, Thunder, FS, a bunch of other people. So if you're curious as to who has a hand on this map, go check it out. I recommend kingmods.net just because that's who I use, or the website that I use. I'm sure you can find it anywhere out there. But enough that spiel. What do I need to do? Turn off my blinker, apparently. There we go. I don't think I needed to start it to do that, but I just did anyway. Yeah, let's yeah, so we have the ICO 8810 John Deere 30, so that's considered a medium tractor. That's interesting. And then the truck that I have is obviously a mod. It won't come with the field. Just so we're clear on that. But I do need to get a plow. So what do we got horsepower wise? 116, 225. I think I have an idea. Well, actually, no, I don't, because I don't have the mods installed. Whoops. I think we'll have to wait until I get the mods put in before I can find the right plow that I want to use. I was gonna get that, work on getting that field plowed up. Not anymore. So we have this, but I don't see any trigger points to know if we can actually use it. I'm assuming we can because they have this here, but what about input? Oh, manage production point. There we go. So it is a production point. We got shaft and grass that we can put in, and we get silage. So it's just a matter of, you know, once we get the stuff in there, what are we going to use to make silage? And then we have a couple grain drying bins that we can dry out corn, barley, canola, oat, sorghum, soybean, and wheat. So that's pretty cool. And of course, we have a propane tank because I'm sure these grain drying bins require propane. Yep, right there, 12x propane. So we definitely want to make sure that we get that filled wherever that is at. Oh, over here. Bye, the storage bins. So we have these four here. I'm assuming these are... Okay, so... No actual icon that pops up, but that is giving me the option to manage production point. Same with all of these. Okay. Man, I do love the way these look, though. All nice and rusty, like they've been sitting here for ages. I'm a little surprised that we don't have a light shining off of that, though. We'll make that happen. And it looks like these couple of bins over here are just regular storage, then. Yeah, just regular grain bins. I do get the trigger in the bottom right hand corner that says the silo is empty. So I don't know how we... I'm sure we can fill it, but I wonder how we can empty it. I'm pretty sure that's going to be a case of upgrading to make sure that we have what works for us. So I definitely like the look of this field, and I may or may not add it to my rotation on Saturdays once we get the next video done for it. So I will be restarting this for the next video because I am going to make sure I get that American Fence and Gates pack downloaded. Like I said, I thought I did, but maybe it's something I needed to unzip and I just didn't. I don't know. But since we're here... oh, that's right. I restarted the game. I was going to record this earlier, but I ended up being really hungry, so I said screw it and I ordered food. And I forgot that I shut down FarmSim because I was doing a few other things. So, yeah, now we're in flight mode. Let's take a quick look at, well, our property for one. So we do have an access road that kind of goes down here for some of these other fields. It's a little bit more than an access road, but it is a dirt road. But our field looks like we have opportunity around here to kind of move the boundaries back a little bit. Not much, but kind of make it a little bit easier possibly for our GPS. I do want to make, like I said, I do want to buy this field. Sorry, itchy nose. It looks like it has soybeans. This one is corn. So they do have plenty of water ditches going throughout. We'll see what we end up doing for the next video, though. Let's go check out some other areas. I believe over here is another area that hasn't loaded in quite yet. There it goes. I was starting to get some big stutters, so it's like, let it load first. I do have a few icons that show that I have vehicles over here. Probably, I'm assuming, a forklift. And I am still in flight mode. Ooh, tight squeeze. Yep, there's a forklift. Alright. Then there's one in another building over here. I don't know if it's a forklift or what it is over here. Oh. One more building over. Looks like it's fuel. I see you there, but you're not my icon. Yeah, chula! Farmers Co-op. Oh, and another forklift. Perfect! Sorry, that just really sounded weird to me. I'm just kind of exploring at the moment, sorry. I'm like a kid in a candy store, man. Whoa! So that's our farm there. That's the co-op, which is awesome. And there's the edge of the field there, and there's the other edge. So yeah, definitely a nice standard size map. I do like it. That's the shop right there. Maybe we could do a own the whole map challenge type of deal. And with no money cheats, just see how it goes. I think I might have to do that. I think this is a good map to do it on. I like the feel of it. I like the look of it. And it's small enough where I think we could get it done. It's not going to be quick by any means. Because what I'm going to do is do my updates to the farm, so it's kind of more set up the way I enjoy working. And then we'll just kind of go from there. So guys, as always, if you happen to like what you see, get yourself watching more than one of my videos, please do us both a favor and hit that subscribe button and ring that bell. That bell will let you be notified of every single video I post, and not just select a few here and there. If you made it this far in the video, I want to say thank you, and I greatly appreciate each and every single one of you. And I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day. So with all that being said, guys, I hope you have a great rest of your week, and we will catch you in the next episode. Take care. Peace.